we're going to transition into this stay woke segment that I have for everybody, and it'll kind of link into the game a little bit and whatnot. But
whatever gets us moved off of this past Thursday game, I'm good with, dude.
Yeah. So as everyone knows, last year emails got leaked. John Gruden emails got leaked when the Raiders were on a hot 3-2 start. Right, he has to resign. Season in shambles. We obviously know that we pulled things out, got to the playoffs, but prior to Thursday night's game, it was anonymously confirmed that the emails were leaked by Dan Snyder and his team, who still has yet to have any repercussions from anything that is revolving from the Washington Commanders email saga or all of this stuff that essentially is getting other people in trouble except him. So he's got to obviously have some dirt on somebody. On Sunday, Saints Bucks was 16-3 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Bucks and what?
Sorry, previous Monday night game.
Previous Monday night game. The game literally 3 days before the Rams game. Bucks come back, win 17-16. Okay. Thursday night, Raiders up 16-3, 5 minutes left in the game. Rams come back, win 17-16. Now, you're asking why I'm bringing all of this up, right? And Raider fans have been on the big train of the NFL hates the Raiders. Things just don't seem right. Things seem rigged. You're wondering why I bring this up. And the reason is because recently the NFL was recognized and categorized as an entertainment business, not categorized as a sports business. Now, what does that mean? An entertainment business means that you cannot get in trouble for having things that are scripted and pre-planned, and some may say rigged, as you might in a sports business that is supposed to be about the competition. Now, yes, I sound ridiculous, but at what point are we going to be able to sit here and say the NFL just hates the Raiders and they are going to script and do everything that they can to keep the man down? It just seems more and more like a simulation that we're in, that we just keep getting screwed. We keep getting things not going our way. And I mean, things are coming out. Things are pointing to some odd stuff that is a little more than coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you consider the fact that recently there were findings that the Washington football team at the time leaked emails from Gruden to divert the attention from their internal investigation that they're facing. And as that got released this past week, it's like, well, if the Raiders keep winning, then the Raiders are in the headlight, or sorry, not the headlights. They are in the limelight of the NFL. Hey, 6-7 might make a run. And then that would then indicate potentially that the Dan Snyder and the football team has some dirt on the NFL and potential owners, whatever. So maybe just bury the Raiders while we can. Now, I think, this doesn't take away from the fact that we did everything we could to lose the game. I think when you look at the things that were not in our control, which were potentially the delay of game versus unsportsmanlike conduct that you mentioned, and or Max Crosby getting held 7 times over on those 2 touchdown drives. I think you look at it and honestly, because I'm a conspiracy theorist in other things outside of the Raiders because I just think they suck. But it seemed like, hey, how can we fill the narrative or the sports headlines for the next 3 days, basically, and really carrying over into this with Baker coming in 16-3. The refs started to call a different game, honestly, once they got sniffed a little bit of potential that the Rams could come back, which really was a dominant Raiders effort, and they should have been up 24-3, 30-3, really, at that point. So it did seem like we got robbed on a handful of calls for sure. And I think I'm woke now on that. And I think it was one of those games that we were never really a part of, but like we overmatched them so much to where they needed everything to work out just to win by one. And we played a large part in that with our penalties and with careless interceptions and with, the coverages we ran, the conservative nature that we operate in the second half, whatever it is, right? But also, like, we got pretty robbed on a handful of calls that would have just cemented the game, like that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Any of those Crosby's plays. The ones that he got held on. Like, I think it was, let's just call it 5 plays that he got held on. I believe 4 or 5 of those were completed first downs, which was extending the drive, which they didn't have any timeouts. It's like there were so many things that would have been like, okay, instead of this 15-yard gain, now it's for 2nd and 20, and you guys still have no timeouts, and there's 42 seconds left, right? It would have just changed it completely, where like there's no shot we would have been in a spot to lose that game. So yeah, I think I'm so down where I'm just like, that's a conspiracy theory. I'm not buying it, because I hate the Raiders, but there's legs to stand on, and I'll stand on them at some point, but not now. I'm just too mad.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And it's just one of those things that the outside of money, the NFL loves a storyline. The NFL loves a good storyline. I don't
it generates money though.
Yeah, that's true.
It all ties into it.
Yeah. And the storyline of Tom Brady coming back and winning in a historic fashion, and heroic fashion, and that same heroic fashion, in turn, 3 days later, taking down the Raiders. I mean, I'll put a tinfoil hat on if I need to, but it just seems like too much coincidence just to not raise the question. Just raise the question. You get people. It's awareness, right? Just get people aware of things. People have been banging the tables about it for years. But it just seems like, what's essentially makes Roger Goodell any different than Vince McMahon. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. Something to look into.
One of these days you'll see Goodell just like strapped up as a linebacker or something in there somewhere, like a mix between WWE and yeah, or as a ref, like, or that that TV show where like the CEO of the company goes in and
Undercover boss.
Yeah, there you go. It's like going to be like a mixture between between those two. But anyways, I just had to bring that up mainly because I wanted to divert off of this terrible game, and secondly because there's just a lot of stuff floating around, and it very much intrigued me when you're scrolling Twitter and all these things are popping up, and you're like, I'll fall down that rabbit hole. I'm good. I'm good on that. I'll take that all day. So.